Boom. Hello, folks. Welcome to the newest, hottest YouTube show, The Thrifting Show. I think that's what it's called anyway. I'd better check. Hottest YouTube show. The Thrift Show. That's what we called it. The Thrift Show. I knew it was close. Episode 1. Here we are. New YouTube live series. New YouTube live series that will be a weekly show that will be looking at thrifting in the UK, basically. Well, not just the UK, we might open up globally. Who knows what the future holds? Anyway, let's cue the intro. There we go. So, no drinking with Andrew this week, folks. I am injured, so not drinking. But thought I would take today as an opportunity to launch the new show that I've been planning for a while. This show is focused on sourcing from charity shops and addressing some of the the feedback, the concerns, the comments that get raised on social media about this particular method of sourcing. General discussion, interaction with guests, members of the chat, etc. Hauls. I've got a haul to show you, and a thrift or not segment where I pick up stuff and the chat decides whether or not you would have thrifted it or not. But before we get into the show, let's say some hellos, because I can already see we've got quite a lot of viewers watching. So let's go through this. Let's get the hellos done. Looks like Dave Repairs was first. Hi, Dave. Aaron was second. Stu was in third. He says he'll give it 5 minutes until everyone agrees charity shops are overpriced. Then we'll crack the cider open and expect the usual carnage. I have no cider. It is not live from a charity shop. Jessica is in. Hi, Jessica. She wants to give it 10 minutes. PVP's in all the way from Canada. Hi, PVP. Sean's in. Hi, Sean. Chris is in. Do you take a double-decker trolley into a charity shop? I am not taking the new tap wheels and not going into the charity shop. They are purely for the car boots. Right, so Chris is in. Hi, Chris. The Dave's in. Hi, Dave. Car boot Chris is in. He's asking how California is to a man in Canada. Aaron will be attracting says Andrew will be attracting a lot of admirers when he gets his new trolley out in public. It's not the only thing I've got out in public before. Yes, there was a flashy new intro. Damien's in. Hi, Damien. Phil's in. Hi, Phil. Al's in. Hi, Al. Let's keep going. Nick K's in. Hi, Nick. Don's in. Hi, Don. Rebecca's in. Hi, Rebecca. Oh, the chat's jumped. Hang on. Let me scroll back up. Oh, I can't even catch up. Right, let's keep going. Gorgeous Gina's in. Hi, Gina. Kathy's in. Hi, Kathy. How about StreamYard Jinx? This one is not going public. We've got it's a bit different to drinking with Andrew. It's not a bandage is coming off. It's not like the regular format. New discussion. What your views on tip shops, and have you seen my latest video? Tip shops is a charity shop, isn't it? Mine certainly is, anyway. Chop busy work. Bangs in. Hello. Geordie Resellers in. Hello. Cabby Chris wants to rip off my show. Gem's in. Hi, Gem. Terry's in. Jamie's in. Peter A's in. Think I've reached the end of the chat. Hello, welcome everyone. Yeah, so episode 1. No idea how this is going to. Steve's in as well. No idea how this is going to go. But I'm just going to pop across a link to our first guest, who's here to talk about the subject at hand. Let's see if I can actually figure out how to send the link to him. While I'm doing that, I thought what would do. What happened to my arm? I injured it getting a granny trolley out rather badly. It's developed lots of swelling and some Latin thing. I can't pronounce it, osteospertis or something. I have no idea. So it's quite painful. I'm on a lot of painkillers at the minute, which is why I'm not drinking. But yeah, there you go. Should have changed hands at night. Thank you for that. Hi, Ali. Right, anyway, so we've got a few holes here. This is my sick bed. It's not I was going to do this from the HQ, but I was nodding off, so I've done it here. Osteobursitis, that could be it. Yeah. Anyway, right, so let's start off. It's on the other elbow. Let's start off with a bit of a hole. I went charity shopping the other day. Oh, got to list that. Oh, hang on. And a guest is coming in. Welcome, Damien.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 1 of the Thrift Show.
Thank you very much. How are you? Hang on. Let me just take me. I'm not half organised. Bear with me. You carry on for a sec.
Okay, yeah. So let's see what we've got as a whole. So I have here a Jethro 40th anniversary tour from 2008. Jethro tool band t-shirt. Paid £3 for this. Hopefully should get about 15 for that.
All right. Volume.
I have. Excuse me, Jessica. I'm your favourite YouTuber. Look at this comment here.
Thanks, Jess. Love you too.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just remember he's posting this one. Right.
I'll just turn that off.
Another band t-shirt. This is Homo Eroticus World Tour 2014. Ian Anderson, I think it was in Jethro.
Homo, isn't that common?
Hello, Derek. Start drinking, Andrew, because I'm not drinking.
No boots, they've been rained off, so I've got a drink.
Oh, what have we got here? I have got a pair of brand new, what can only be described as a tent. A pair of newer tags, Marks and Spencer's shorts. They cost £3.99 in the charity shop, and they are 44-inch waist.
Fucking hell. bit big even for you, I think.
Excuse me. Just easy for me. I have got an NYC Champion t-shirt, 2XL. I bought this for $2.99.
Is this all from the same charity shop, or is it from a mixture?
This was just the mould charity shops. I went in a couple.
Okay.
That were still open. This was $2.99. I mean, it's probably only going to be worth about 12 quid or so, but I just thought it was cool. I liked it. It's unusual. Picked up some rag. We'll get to that.
Some what?
Some rag. I think I sent you some pictures. I think I sent you some pictures of it.
Did you?
We'll come to that as part of the, we'll come to that as part of the conversation about whether charity shops are worth it or not, because it'll be my case for the defence. Picked up this Adidas colour block. It's not vintage from 2016, but an Adidas Originals colour block zip jacket. That was $4.99 I paid for that. Size large, I think. 44, 46, yeah, so it's probably a large. But nice colour block design there, here. So I went for that. Hey, Craig. You could have arthritis. So let's not, you know, start accusing me of having arthritis and whatever. You'll be upsetting me. So yeah, then I grabbed some rag, which we'll come to later. It cost me £4.50.
That's the one you bought yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you've got.
Yeah, there's no StreamYard link for this one, PvP. This is not an open show as such. Right. What have I got next? So yeah, next one is what I picked up today. Another rag. We'll come to that later as part of the discussion about charity shops are worth it. Got Ravensburger puzzle, brand new and sealed, from 2007. I only know that because it said on the box.
Yeah.
That was £4. Probably go for about 15 on that.
Quite pricey for a jigsaw, even though it's a new one. They've gone up a little bit. I mean, you used to pay about £2.50 for new ones.
Yeah, so I was over an hour in about it, but I went for it in the end. I picked up this Williams F1 t-shirt.
It's quite nice.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't like anything on sold for this at all. But it was £2, and I was just like, Lockheed, Borg, and Beck, whatever that means.
Make it a bit lighter. So it's new light bulb. It's a bit darker in here.
So yeah, picked that one up for £2. I have no idea if there's any value in that, but I wasn't gonna let it go. It is not gout. You've got a cycling shirt.
Yeah, crap.
£3.50.
There it is.
Got like Deutsche Telekom.
Excuse me, I'm just destroying the place. What's that? Show me that. Show me that again.
There we go.
Oh, okay. I thought it was some sort of like elemental table kind of thing.
Oh right, no. Yeah, that was £2.50.
I might have had that if it was.
Picked up hi Becky. Picked up a pretty green t-shirt for £3. This is a brand I always look out for. This is one of the Gallagher brothers. I think it was Noel Gallagher's fashion brand. That should be about £15. Now I've got some stuff you won't see on eBay sold. North Wales Crusaders. That's Wrexham Lager there. This is our local rugby team here in Wrexham.
Is there a Wrexham cider? Well, obviously not, because you...
Just Wrexham beer. We do have local cider breweries, but they're like not.
We've got a cider brewery. We've got a cider brewery here.
This was £4, but like there's none sold on eBay. But I'm not going to put that on eBay. I'm going to put that on Facebook Marketplace for about £15-20 because somebody local is going to buy that. And I got one of their like one of the tops, like as well, which just looks absolutely like it's never been worn, which is £4 as well. And I'm thinking that's going to be, you know, although it slightly concerns me that it's supposed to be men's extra large, and now I look at it, it's actually got 16 on it, which I think is a lady's size. Hey, some noob. Hey, Nick.
So you only bought a couple of bits then?
Yeah, well, as we'll discuss shortly, charity shops aren't really worth sourcing in. Then next we got, this is the one that's extra large. This is the men's one. Another North Wales Crusaders top. Which again, I'll bang those on Facebook for 15 quid, 4 quid. And then another North Wales Crusaders hoodie. This one's got, I think this one had a mark on it. Yeah, but it's like, why don't people wash stuff before they donate it? Because it's literally one of those where if they washed it, it would come off.
Yeah.
That was okay. I have got, I literally only bought this because it was a quid.
Oh, genie.
Yeah, it's as the George, so it's not how much value, but it's like a 4XL.
Wow.
So I figured I would go for it then. It says, what are your other 2 wishes? I'm here. What are your other 2 wishes?
That's perfect.
I'm not leaving that for a quid.
No, definitely not.
And then there's I think this is actually a vintage one. A Canterbury, New Zealand. They make rugby clothing, polo shirt. That is the logo on the back. That was a quid. So for a quid, I'll take that. That's going to be at least 12 quid. And then I had a vintage. This is a brand I haven't seen in a long time. Gabici. Jumper for a quid.
Mm-hmm.
With a crazy pattern on it, like a real vintage boxy fit as well. So, like, there's some Gabici stuff that's gone for like lots and lots of money on eBay, like 40 quid or so. So, I have no idea on value on that. But that wasn't enough to satisfy me. I carried on this afternoon. I have got a vintage sheepskin jacket that cost me 4 quid. It does have a couple of marks on it, but for 4 quid, even with marks on it, I'm going to get some decent cash for that.
New clothes last week. No more clothes hauls.
Sold some Gabici jumpers and they don't hang around. Prices are all over the place.
Aim high then.
What else did I get? I got a Quicksilver jacket. That was 3 quid. Slightly small, but it was only 3 quid, and I thought that's got to be worth 20 quid or so. I got some books which I won't show. Some Samuel Windsor shoes in size 8, some Rose, really good condition. They have been worn, but they were 4 quid, and these are 25 quid at least.
What?
And I got some Timberlands, some little Timberlands. These are only size 4, but they were 3 quid. I ain't going to turn them down for 3 quid. They've got a couple of marks on, but they're still going to be 30 quid or so. So yeah, and then I have here a vintage 96-97 Rangers football shirt, a classic 90s Adidas one. That cost £4.50. I wonder if the chat can guess the listed value on that one.
Yeah, we'll see that. We had a chat about it yesterday, didn't we? So yeah.
I wonder what the chat will reckon that one's worth.
More than a tenner.
Definitely more than a tenner.
Well, Chris is in with £100.
I mean, he saw the chat and he still guesses wrong. And I also today picked up for £4 a signed Blackpool football shirt that has been signed by Tony McMahon. It's 2014-15 season, I think. It is signed to Kenny. I think it's actually a match worn shirt as well. I need to do a bit more research on it, but it's got the Sky Bet logos on the side.
Yeah,
so,
as well.
So nobody's guessing the correct price here on the this. It was just hanging on a hanger. There's one of these that is sold similar condition for £160 on eBay.
You nearly left it behind as well, didn't you? You were in two minds about it. It's like, do I get it? Do I not? Do I get it? Oh, go on then.
That was before I actually looked to see what it was. I saw it was vintage 90s Adidas t-shirt, but I didn't think it was a football one. And then I looked it up and I was like, yeah. And then this one, signed Blackpool shirt, I'm hoping for about £50 on it. So yeah, picked up those things. That was
2 days work.
Loads of other stuff I got as well, but we'll save that for the to thrift or not segment. Because have you picked up anything?
I picked up a couple of bits. So I've only got one with me. The rest are down the unit. I picked up. I'll show you what I picked up. Can't find any solds on it. Paid £4 for it. It's new with tags. And it's got a price on it, £20. It's just Liverpool. It's got Gerrard on it, and it's got number 8 on the back, and his pictures on it. It says it's £20, but it was like £4, size XL.
I think the fact that it's got Gerrard's name and number on it will actually add to the value, because obviously he was quite a popular player.
There's sort of similar kind of ones for about £10 to £15, but there's this and this one, so I'm just going to whack it on for the ticket price. I'm just going to stick it on for £20. It's priced at £20, so I'll just put £20 plus shipping. Then they can't argue really. So I'm selling it for the retail price, 4 into 20. Then I'll have to get the phone out for the others because I listed them. I got this morning from Save Charity Shop. It's my first one that I've managed to find. There's the camera on this thing. A Le Creuset. Griddle pan, paid £7. Was that £7? Yeah, I think it's about £7, £6 or £7. For that was in charity shop. That's the first one I've seen. It's still oily and sticky, but that's fine. It just rubbed off. What else did I get today? I picked up a telephone.
How much have you listed it for?
That'll go on tomorrow. I've drafted it. Comps go for about 40, I think. Thereabouts for those 35, 40. So I'm going to go 40 plus shipping because it's bloody heavy.
So 7 into 40.
Yeah, that's all right. And this one I picked up this morning from Emmaus. They're going to focus on that. It's a board game.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, yeah, God sells, so I'm buying that for £2. Didn't get a receipt, though, because the machine broke and all that, so I've got to handwrite myself a receipt for it. But, yeah, completed on that £20. So 2 into 20 is all right for a board game. Which, yeah, it is a board game. It's like a map of Galilee. It's like, right, okay. We'll have that. And picked up a load of video games in a charity shop that I'm not specifying, just in case there's anybody watching, because they're 50p each. And I picked up I've sold today for the PS3. Sold that for a tenner, paid 50p for it. It's a PS3 £10 in that one. And I picked up the other one worth mentioning is on the Wii, Dead Space Extraction. I think that's 20 quid game, that one. It's not often that you see a £20 Wii game that's not a Mario. So I grabbed that. And the other thing I picked up that I want to show, it was quite cool, is a glass Murano clown. It doesn't really focus.
Oh, very nice.
I put it in the group the other day. I paid, I think that was £3 or £3 or £4, something like that. I've got it listed for 25. Yeah, so I've been picking up a few things this week. I'm doing all right.
So I guess that brings us nicely then into the conversational subject. Are charity shops overpriced? Is it worth sourcing from them? Or should we just avoid them altogether now?
It depends what you mean by overpriced. I mean, prices are erratic. I was doing a little bit of research for this before I came on, and this argument has been going, according to Google, there's been articles on this argument for well over 10 years. So this is well before the days of resellers doing YouTube and things like that. And so it's like, are they overpriced? Should they be buying? And they've been talking about people buying and selling on eBay for it's like, there's articles that go back to 2010. So it's not a new thing. But charities have to earn their money as much as they pay whatever percentage to the charity. Because you can have a charity shop if you pay 5% of the profits to a charity. You can register as a charity shop for that little. But they've got overheads like everybody else, and of course they're going to look on eBay. They don't know what they've got half the time. And we are not, as resellers, we are not entitled to find a £50 item for a £5 in a charity shop as much as
like this one.
And like that. We're not entitled to that. If that same shirt was 30 quid, which is still under the going rate for eBay at 50 quid, then they're still they're perfectly entitled to that. No, they might not sell it, and that's the thing. But we're not entitled as resellers to have rock bottom prices just because they're getting their stuff for free. But there's still plenty of stuff out there. There's good charity shops and there's bad ones, and the same brand of charity shop in one town will be better than that particular branch in the next town. My Sue Rider is brilliant, but if I go 5 miles down the road to Tenston, theirs is shocking. It's down to management. Your mileage may vary, as they say.
So I went out sourcing yesterday, as you know. The first town I went to, I did, which used to be a brilliant town for sourcing in. I didn't pick up a single item. They had stuff that I would have picked up, but the prices they were asking, there was a board game they was asking £20 for, sold on eBay for it were like 6 or 7 quid.
Yeah.
They had some nice
for a £5 in a mouse. The CSI one.
They had some nice Gore-Tex shoes that were 20 quid. Now, if they'd been a tenner, I'd have bought them, but they would only go for eBay for about 30 quid. But to the consumer, to the customer, the general public who's going in there, they might have thought 20 quid was a reasonable price to pay for those shoes. They only weren't reasonable for me because, I was looking to sell them on for a profit. The board game was definitely an outlier. But I was having a chat with one of them about the prices. Said, your prices are a lot different to what they used to be. And she said, well, I was asking her about a hoodie that I'd seen just for a price on it. And she's saying, I've sold 2 of these for 12 quid this morning, so it'll be 12 quid. So basically, they were saying to me, look, there are people prepared to pay these prices, so that's why we charge those prices.
They're charging the market rate.
Yeah.
If they can sell, if a charity shop can sell something for 20 quid, that's going for about £15, £20 on eBay. If they're actually selling it then fair play to them. It's when they sell it, they set the price at 20 quid. Nobody's going to buy, like a Harry Potter book, like first edition. They'll stick it up for 25, 30 quid, whatever. Nobody's going to buy it. And then that's right, because they're only doing themselves a disservice. But if they're in a specific town, like Canterbury's up the road, you get a lot of students. You get this massive, in normal times, sort of like tourists. So they get away with charging higher prices because there's the market for it. But the ones that price themselves out will be the ones that end up closing down. There's a couple in my town that just end the time because their prices are too high, so nobody goes in them anymore. So the old lady just sits there doing her knitting behind the till because she's got nothing better to do.
Hi, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Where the charity shops are overpriced. I've split it into two questions. Are they overpriced to source from? And are they overpriced just for the general public to buy from? Because obviously,
the first point, sourcing from the reseller, yes, they are. Not all of them. There's a select few that are quite overpriced to source from. Like they want, I think one in my local town, I shared it on Instagram the other week, £12 for a PS2 game, which was Simpsons. I was like, no, thank you very much. And then obviously bits and pieces. But then you can get some good stuff, which obviously I shared with you, Andrew, in the lads chat, which I've got here. So I just happened to just go out because I just went down the post office. I thought I'd go out a few local charity shops. Didn't hell, my head high, to be honest. Well, it's gonna be crap. But I just went in. I went in about 6, and from let's have a look. I managed to pick up a bread and butter item, live 8, not the aid, live 8 for £1. Just bread and butter, nothing special.
How much do they go for?
I should get around £15.
That's not bad.
So it's B&B, bread and butter. And then I popped into another local charity shop, which will name nameless. Picked up some shirts, band shirts. I'll leave the best one to last. So for £1.99 each. So the first one, you've got Linkin Park. If anyone likes Linkin Park, as I do, bits and pieces. Linkin Park. This one is Gildan, and they're all mediums, £1.99 each, and that one should go for £15.
Very nice.
Same with this one. Same with this band, metal band called Lamb of God, from America, an American metal band. Again, £1.99, and this one again is Gildan. Buy the label if you don't know, people. And then that should go £15. So I thought, fair enough. And then I knew my eyes were diverted to this banging T-shirt, and it's been confirmed, completely sold, and everywhere else. Korn, the American metal band.
I've heard of that.
This one is an absolute cracking T-shirt. I should be able to be looking at £50.
Wow.
Because there was one listed on one bid, £50, and then there was one on Australian one for 68 UK pounds. So I should get around 50 for this. It's through a balloon, and I've looked it up on different sites as well. So that should do £50. And I didn't stop there because I went elsewhere to another charity shop, and then I picked up these indoor bowls. Oh, bloody heavy! Because what they are, they're size 4. I paid £15 for these and the bag. A bag's worth a tenner on its own. And these are Drake's Pride Professionals. They're bog standard, average bowls, but they're the heavy side. So they're size 4, very, very heavy. A lot of people play with heavier bowls. When I used to play with ones and stuff. So that one, the Drake's Pride on their own should go for 70.
Cool.
All we got to do is clean them up and then take all the stickers off, and that very stickers off. Yeah. And then you can see, because it's all here, that lot, all there. Drake's Pride Professionals, size 4. So that's a good one. But I thought, fucking hell, flipping hell. And then I spotted the top bargain of Century. I was for 15. And then the same charity shop, just moved my tea over the other way. There's the Fessler. More bowls and more stuff. Let me just grab the bag. Again, £15. The bag alone, the brown bag alone goes for £15. So that's me money pretty much back. And then you can see in it the whole lot there. This way. So we've got
that as well.
Yeah. So we've got the bag. That bag's about, I say, £10 to £15 because it's the Super Bowl sportswear bag. Because you can get bags that do 2 bowls, 4 bowls. This one here, about 10 to 15, Kestrel, which is a measure. So just take it out. You measure in between the bowls.
Are you missing your bowls then, Pete?
Bits and pieces, not particularly. I don't think I'll be doing as much as I was before the pandemic, because a lot of things have been going on in the club, like higher prices and this, that, and the other. They're trying to, I think they'll be going back in about a month's time, something like that. But they've had to diversify with a lot of the various things. So I might go for the winter season. And then these ones here, Henselite, they're an Australian brand.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
I've had some.
Their size 3 heavy classic deluxe, and the Henselite bowls on their own goes for 65. With everything incorporated, got 4 of these, the bag, the big bag, and the these bits and pieces. I should get around 105.
Nice.
Because a lot of people are sort of looking for, because if you go to a proper bowls sports shop, there's one in Guildford, I think, or near Guildford, and basically they're very, very, very expensive, and you're basically not really allowed to at the moment to go on there and test them. So people are really looking out for these. So yeah, so these on their own should be 65 anyway. So I paid £15 for each set. So I thought, flipping hell. And it just so happens I was vlogging today, so it just so happens I went up chat shopping and picked up some good stuff. So yeah, I was happy with the t-shirts and that, and I don't mind bog standard stuff, easy to ship and list. That take me about 4 minutes, if that. And then do a tiny bit of research on the bowls, and then just take the bits off, because these ones are like Surrey Masonic ones on these. I take them off, and then the other ones are Cuddington, I think. Is it Cuddington on the back? Yeah, the Cuddington Bowling Club. So I just gently take them off and get them cleaned up. So yeah, a pretty good, successful day. Didn't spend mega amounts, but because I thought I better go charity shopping, because obviously Saturday car boots rained off, so I can't go anywhere. So that's why I picked up today.
Cool.
Let me just see what's in the chat. Oh, throw it down. Yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah, so overall, you can get the good stuff and some decent bargains, but a few and far between. As someone who's just, well, what I call, I don't know, as someone just buying them for themselves, then some of the prices are okay. But again, as I say, as a reseller, then most of them, I think for me, I have to travel further and further and further away from London, as a lot of people might live near London. So, but I'm happy. So it gives me stuff to list over the weekend.
We still find stuff. I mean, I was adding up my local one. I was going through my banking app earlier. How much I spent in this particular charity shop in the last year. Bearing in mind it's been closed all over winter. I've spent nearly £1,000 in there in that one charity shop. It's like about April last year, because they do have so much in there, and so there's probably a good £4,000 or £5,000 worth of profit that I made. you know, I picked up things like brand new sealed Live Aids, you know, like things like that, and like box sets. Their clothes are very high priced. I was quite surprised to find that T-shirt in there for £4 off. Usually they put that for at least 10. They must have missed that one, especially being brand new. But yeah, it is all very dependent on the charity shop. As I said just before you come in, the same branch, same chain branch 5 miles down the road in Tenterden. Yeah, I'll never find anything in there because their prices are even worse. Yeah, so it's it all depends. It depends on the specific charity shop, not necessarily the same brand, because it varies from town to town. But you can still find them. I mean, you have to look at all the reseller videos. And look what I found in the charity shop. Look what I found in the charity shop. Yeah, you go in there 5 times a week, and you'll only get something on one of those days. The other 4 times. But it's still worth going to most of them. At least once or twice a week.
Definitely.
They don't have time to check everything, and they will lump. I find that they lump certain things into categories. So there will be, electronics will be sort of £3.50, regardless of whether it's a crappy like 2 megapixel camera from 2000 or like a high-end Denon stereo system. It'll just be like, because they don't have. Because those things take so much more time to research, they don't. But the low-hanging fruit, like Adidas tops or Mario Brothers video games, they'll go, oh well, that's we've got an Xbox today. They go for £50, so we'll put that in for £50, and they won't sell because nobody's looking for that sort of thing at that price, from a chat shop. So they'll shift it off to another store after a couple of weeks. But you have to go for stuff that is not obvious, and you get to know the charity shops that how they list. You get to know what they look up and what they don't. I'm
just catching up on some comments in the chat. So Aaron says, I think it's a wide range. Even the same charity shop company can have a different policy from one shop to the next.
Yeah, that's
true. Yeah, I come across when I was in I think it was a British Heart Foundation clearance store where presumably they get sent stuff from other stores that hasn't sold.
Right.
Into them.
Have you seen British Heart Foundation's eBay operation? Have you seen a video of it?
I've not seen it, but I've bought from it before because they've auctioned stuff off.
It's like a bigger version of what we do, except that they've got like half a dozen employees. But it is literally a reselling business. It is it's exactly what we do, except the stock comes into them. They don't have to go outsourcing it, but it's exactly boxes, and they've got they do exactly what we do. So that's what we're competing with.
Some
for
charity shops, stupid price over the same charity shops have stock around for months. What I will say is the charity shops here in Wrexham that are the most overpriced are also the ones that have been going the longest. So they obviously must know their market, otherwise they wouldn't be here.
For their market correctly, then they'll stay in business. If they're pricing out their local consumers, by which it's not just retailers, it's like the general public, then they'll go under and they'll get closed down because they have targets to reach each week. And if they're not reaching it, then it'll be an unsustainable store and they'll close it down.
Jack's got a charity shop near him that's got the same Xbox 360 games since 2019. But having said that,
Minecraft, FIFA, and all that rubbish,
they're probably not bothered because they're not taking up that much shelf space. So they're probably not actually, going. Because if you go to like a major retailer like, Tesco's, for example, they calculate how much money they can make per shelf of products. And as soon as that shelf stops making money, they take the products that are on it reduce them in price and replace them with stuff that's making more money.
Yeah, because they made their money.
Don't do that.
So they'll get a shot of it. It's not it's about profit per inch per shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we should be sort of thinking as ourselves as well as resellers. We should be, if we've got stuff hanging around, it's like that's taking up shelf space. Get rid. It doesn't matter. Don't get married to how much you paid for it. Get rid of it and get it out the door. Make space for more. So it's and charity shops should think like that as well. And it does.
That's why they're turning away a lot of donations, because they can't fit it in. They should just get it out.
Yeah, it does annoy me when charity shops have signs on the door saying we're unable to take donations because they're turning away profit because they can't some stuff that they've got because they're too bullish to say, well, no, I don't want to sell a £50 coat for £20 because that's £50. The next customer coming might buy it for £50. They're like, well, they won't. Whereas they've turned away £500 worth of donations.
Oh, that's very true. Yeah.
Yeah, that because they haven't got the room for it. It's like that's my main gripe with charity. It's not the fact that they price too high or there's not enough meat on the bone for us resellers. It's just that they run their businesses so poorly that because they don't manage their inventory correctly.
So one of the gripes that I keep hearing about is charity shops, particularly larger ones, paying employees and not using volunteers. But I think if you want to run your place as a business, you have got to get the best staff in to run that place as a business for you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
If you're relying on volunteers to do things like do your stock takes, to price your items, etc. This is no offense to any of the volunteers, but they are not necessarily going to be having the background or the skills or the expertise to perform that way.
Afternoons just to have some company. They're not retailers. They're not there to earn a wage or anything like that. They're there to have the social life, to get out, to feel as if they're still useful to society. Yeah. And that's great. But a lot of them, they have sort of one manager per store that's paid, and they might have one full-time assistant who's paid, and then they'll have half a dozen volunteers that will go through the week. So, and it depends what they're being told from head office with their targets and their pricing policies and everything else like that. And it depends how good they are as a retail manager. And and not just charity shops. You can go into Sainsbury's or Savers or in like the little corn shop and you'll get crap managers, and you'll get ones that will run their businesses into it because they don't know what they're doing. And it's it's the same for charity shops, but the charity shops seem to be more, there's the good. You can tell the good ones, and you can tell the bad ones because the ones that have got more free reign over their store than head office are telling them, and the ones that have got head office telling them exactly what they've got to do.
So there's a charity shop in Wrexham where I picked up some stuff, which I'll show in a bit. Where I got those Timberlands from and those Samuel Windsor shoes, which are very reasonably priced. They always have a sign, without fail, saying donations welcome. I've never seen them turn away donations. It's not the biggest charity shop in Wrexham, but I bet it's the one that pays the most rent because of where it's located.
It's always the way, isn't it?
It's in the middle of the shopping centre that we have here, where all the big department stores and everything are. And then there's this charity shop there. So I've seen the rent. They're like 25, 35 grand a year plus on a shop in there.
They'll get their charity. They won't be right.
So there might be.
Not if it's anything like down here, they don't. There's a discount for charities. They don't pay the business rates on them. They get a discount.
Our local authority charges business rates, which don't matter who you are. But yeah, I'm talking about the rent for the shop. I'm not talking about the business rate. So the rents on those buildings are ridiculously high, but they have a high turnover model. They price stuff for £1, £2, £3 max. So they're constantly getting stuff in.
Yeah.
Because they're never turning away donations, and they're constantly selling it because they're so competitively priced. But they are also a clearance store. They get stuff from other stores as well coming in. I see this stuff that's in there has got like the original price tag on it from wherever sent it, and it'll be like 15, 20 quid or whatever, crossed through with £2 on it. So
it's all whatever it is, it's all profit. They don't, they're not paying for the stock, and the ones that turn it over the quickest ones to make the most money.
But it's not, is it, actually, for that store? Because in that example where they're getting stuff sent from other places, there's a cost to doing that.
Well,
it costs money to distribute that to them. So their margin must be tiny on that kind of stuff, because it's not cheap for to send a lorry load of stuff across the country.
So but I bet they're getting a footfall as well, though.
Oh well, yeah, with those prices, they're
if they're a good charity shop and there's good prices in it, then they'll get the people through the door and they're queuing outside in the conditions we got now. And the ones that don't, the PDSA in my town, you'll be lucky to see one person in it, and it's on a busy corner. It's right opposite a bank, and because their prices are high, and nobody goes in. Resellers don't go in there. The general public doesn't go in there, and they've got the same stuff sitting on the shelf week after week after week. Yeah, but
our two most expensive charity shops we got here, be no surprise to anyone, the British Heart Foundation. But what I would say is they are expensive to me as a reseller looking to buy stuff to sell on. But as a member of the general public, there's stuff in there that I picked up because I thought, oh, that's, I want that, and it's £5 or so cheaper than it would be to get it on eBay or whatever. So they're right in the middle of the prices there. They're cheaper than it would be for me to get it on eBay, but they're too expensive for me to buy it to sell it on eBay. So they do okay. They've always got constant sales going. And, I still go in there because occasionally they miss stuff, but they've always got people going in there and buying stuff, and people seem to be happy to pay it because they've just got the pricing at the right point. And then there's the cat's protection, which just is just insane. The prices they charge.
Cat's protection in Tenston is sky high as well. You can't get anything in there. Ashley Martin's just said got her like that. Is Ashley a boy or Ashley girl? Ashley boy or Ashley girl?
Ashley's a boy.
Ashley's boy. It says his Sue Rider is so poor right now because they've got a new manager price up. But my Sue Rider is best charity shop ever. And it looks like it's very much on the local. They're on the local level what they do, because the one in the next town is crap as well. So I think that Sue Rider has more discretion than somewhere like British Heart Foundation does, because it had wildly from store to store.
We had a great Sue Rider. It's still there. It's now turned into one of their clearance stores, so everything's £3 max. But the quality of the stock now is awful, because it's just stuff that won't sell anywhere else. Beforehand, they used to be, prices would be set national level, so it'd be like blazers be £7, a jumper might be £10 or whatever. But every 2 to 3 months, they would have a clearance sale. They'd half price everything. So I could go in there and I could spend £100 on clearance stock, and I could make decent money on it, and it was great. But they obviously, for whatever reason, the Sue Rider management didn't like the fact that they were doing this, so they just turned it into a £3 clearance store, and it's been awful ever since. I think I picked up about 3 things there since they turned into a clearance store, and I was going in there and picking up stuff every week beforehand. They'd have electricals and all sorts in. Now they're a clearance store, they'll do electricals, so they've ruined it. But for the general public going in there, it's great, because they're not really that they're not there like I am looking for specific brands or whatever. They're just there thinking, I've got a cardigan or a jacket or whatever for, cheaper than Primark.
Yeah.
So that's all they want. So that's just going to carry on for them. That store will probably go from strength to strength from Sue Ryder's perspective.
But it's no good as a reseller store, And
you would think selling stuff for free, but it would be, but it's just that they don't get the good brands in there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, strictly speaking, that's the correct business model for them to have. You take the reselling side out of it. They're catering to their market. If they're busy and they're selling the stuff and they're making, they're hitting their targets and they're paying their way as a store for the company and for covering their rent and costs and all that, then that's a successful charity shop. No good to us as resellers. Like Lawrence says, British Red Cross is extortionate, but the one in Tidson's not too bad. I found some stuff in that one that's quite right.
I've been to British Red Crosses that are extortionate, but I went to one in Porthmadog in the summer, and they was charging 50p per DVD box set. The first DVD box set I grabbed in there was the West Wing that I sold for 35 quid 2 days later.
Right.
That's come down in price a bit because there's one in Sue Ryder at the moment, and I've left it because it's not worth it. They've got it up for £10, I think. It's come down to about 25 or so lately because it's on E4 now.
Oh, I've seen it. Oh god, yeah. You
can watch it as about like the whole lot on Friday.
Yeah.
So the price has come down a little bit. Matt says about YMCA is never fails in there. I've got 2 YMCAs in my town at the moment, and they're opening up a third one. That's why. But the main one in town is shockingly bad. It is a proper sort of dead man shop. It's for old crap. Occasionally I'll get a couple of bits. I got that Ghost Castle game in there a couple of months ago, and every now and again there'll be a gem, but most of it is like the lighting in there is really dark and poor, and you can't see anything, and like it smells.
We had a YMCA that was brilliant. £1 per item for pretty much everything in there, and it was great. I go in there and I would spend 50-60 quid a week. Sometimes I only spend like a tenner or whatever, depending on the stock, but I'd spend a couple hundred quid a month anyway in there. And I went there one day and it was gone, and another charity shop opened up down the way a couple of weeks later, and the manager who'd run the YMCA was running this new charity shop. So I asked, I said, what's happened to the YMCA? He said, basically they put the rent up. Our margins, because we were selling stuff at only £1 each, meant that we couldn't afford to pay the rent. So they'd actually gone. So everyone's talking about get the turnover in, get the donations, get stuff selling cheap. That business model failed for them. That was exactly the model they had, and it failed because they couldn't cover the increase in their rent. So what happens if you put your stuff up by even 50p or whatever? Surely people will come in. She says, like the people will come in, but we tried doing that. We went up to, I think she said we went up to £2 an item. And people just stopped coming to us because it wasn't what they'd expected, because we'd been selling stuff for £1 for so long. They just voted with their feet since we put it up, and it went bust.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they put in the third YMCA, because the one they're opening up is now is going to be in the shopping centre in the arcade, which used to be Bright House before they went bust. So it'd be interesting what they do, because the rents in there will be sky high because they're the most expensive place in town.
Yeah.
It's a proper shopping centre. It's in the arcade, and they will be the only charity shop in there. It's right next door to Poundland as well, so it'll be in between Poundland and so I'm hoping they focus on electricals, and because the other two don't, because one's an out of town one next to the co-op, which is rubbish, and the other one in town is in the smaller arcade, which is incredibly hit and miss. So in the main sort of shopping destination of the town, they're opening one up. It'd be interesting what they put, what sort of stock they put in there. because it'd have to be slightly different to what they're doing the other one, because the other one's only a minute's walk away. So I'm trying to understand why they would want to have a third one in the town unless they're doing big furniture items and electricals. Because that's the only one that they're not, the only section that they're not really covering at the moment. Because the other one's all clothes and bric-a-brac and DVDs.
I know our British Art Foundation furniture and electrical store does well, selling the furniture.
And it's one of those I've watched over or Maidstone, which is a bit too far of a drive because they are still overpriced. You can occasionally find a bit in there.
Well,
but it's not,
ours works on they do the one here is run by somebody who knows what he's doing, so they'll only take donations of a certain standard because they want to sell it on, which is fair enough. And what they do is when if an item's been, they date everything to say how long it's been there for, which most charities do that, but when it reaches a certain point, he has told me either 2 months or 3 months goes to half price, and if it hasn't, then it'll stay at half price for a few weeks. And if it hasn't gone in that, they'll just knock it down to £1. And if nobody takes it as £1, bin it, chuck it. So they focus on getting that best price they can for the item. But if it's not shifting, they're happy to turn it over and just take what they can. And that's been going there for years now. So, and I've bought furniture there for my house.
Z thought I was winding him his chat because I pimped the channel out earlier. I said at the end of his stream, I said, a serious reselling talk tonight, and he's like, "Yeah, you're joking, aren't you?" And it's like, "No, I've been serious."
We've had £160. T-shirts on here and everything. So, before we move on to the next segment of the show, which is to thrift or not, let's draw this segment to a close. Damien, do you feel charity shops are overpriced for resellers, and do you feel they're overpriced for the general public?
I think it's a good mixture, and it depends on, it varies from charity shops to charity shops. Some towns will be better than others. You could have an entire town where every shop is crap and overpriced, and you could go to the next town where over half of them you can, like gold mines too. Yes, it varies, and everybody will give you a different answer. But I've got one that does me okay, and I've got half a dozen that very occasionally find me stuff. So, but yeah, and so yeah, it depends on the charity shop. Yes and no.
Peter, anything to add?
Yeah, what Damien said, bit of both worlds really. Like I have to sort of, in my locality, they're about average, I suppose. But it depends what you're looking for, as if you're like a reseller again or the general public. But yeah, you've got to really look with your eyes just to spot the bargains, because quite a lot of the time they're so busy just putting stuff out on the shelves, and they miss a lot of things. So you've got to really flick through boxes, flick through this. A bit like when you go to a car boot or something, flick through so you can find that gem, which you can find. There's actually, like in the bigger town, Kingston upon Thames, and there's like one of those big British Heart Foundations that does electricals, furniture shop, and they've got quite a lot of paid staff in there. And they don't get any donations. What they do is they get from other places and just bring it all in, like with the games, the toys and stuff like that. And they've got other places where they get the stuff in. And it's just basically, you walk in there, you think, fucking hell, it's too expensive, and walk out again, because they never ever change the prices. Reason being is because it's in a big town centre, like a massive town itself, but the people who work in it are basically on the pretext of basically they've got targets to be set by head office, and they say they've got prices at so they've got really no say in it. But then again, I walked into a local one earlier and got loads of stuff, and I just happened to be friendly with quite a lot of them, and and they bring out the deals and say we've got this so and so on half price, and we got these, and I say, have you got any of these games at the back, or you got this on the other? And then they go and have a look, and if they have, they do me a deal. And then there's some people walk in, I hate resellers. Like there's one locally, in like about 2-minute drive down the road, and hate resellers. They despise resellers. I had a bus stuff about a couple of years. No, it might have been a couple of years ago. And basically, they're asking, like, you reseller, you're doing this, doing that. We don't like resellers. All resellers can go and leave. I'm thinking, I said to them, well, what's the point? You're sort of have to have half and half. People who are reselling and people who are basically general public, Joe Public. It works in both ways. But I don't go in there very often. It's snooty people who work in it. And then again, like obviously you've got the people who are like business sense, and then you've got the other. There's a charity shop in my local town of Epsom, and it's in the main high street on the corner, and it's just basically a full of elderly people, like people who are past middle age, up to elderly, and they've even got a clue about prices. And I picked up a few good bits on the Wednesday after we were allowed back on the 12th, 14th. I was like, fair enough. And then you go about 10 seconds around the corner, and it's like 15 quid a game or 20 quid a t-shirt. I'm thinking, what's the point? So yeah, it's just half and half really, but you got to really look. And half the time I'm in a rush anyway, so I don't really spend that much time looking at charity shops. I just happened to be going out today, and I thought I'd go and have a look around, do a little vlog, and yeah, I picked up some good bargains.
So my view is that charity shops as a whole, I don't think are overpriced either for resellers or the general public, because particularly for general public, because if they were, they would go out of business. They would no longer exist. So, you know, the fact that there's still a shop there still means it's still selling something. So I don't think necessarily for the general public they are overpriced. I think some charity shops definitely for resellers priced too high for us to source from, but even in those you can still find the hidden gems, and there's still plenty of reasonably priced charity shops that rely on high turnover, quick turnover of stock, that as resellers you can go to, but you've really got to know where those places are, and you've got to keep hitting them up.
You've got to know your charity shops. Yeah, because I mean, if they were too overpriced, then you know we wouldn't see any charity shop hauls, videos, and if like we as resellers just wouldn't bother going to them at all.
Yeah,
you know, it'd just be like, well, they're overpriced. There's no point in even going to them, even to look for the occasional hidden gem that you might find once a month. Yeah, it's really like too expensive, not worth my time. I find the as a general rule of thumb, the best charity shops are the ones that got lots of customers. If you wanted to just walk around without actually going in them and say, well, is this a good charity shop? But you know, the price is good or the price is not for both public and resellers. Just walk past. If there's nobody in there, then that's a bad charity shop. If there's like, you know, if you're, you know, if there's a queue out the door because of the current restrictions, or there's like, you know, people milling around inside, then that's a good charity shop. And I know which ones I'd want to go in and have a look at if I went to a new town and that you know, just drove past or whatever. As a general rule of thumb, you know, if they've got good footfall, then you know, then there's stuff worth going in there for.
The thing for me as well, like, you can't just be put off by going to. You could go to 10 charity shops and pick up nothing, but you go in the 11th one, and you're suddenly picking out loads. You know. I could have stopped. I could have gone to the one town, picked up nothing, and I could have been like, charity shops are overpriced, not worth it. But I didn't. I thought, I'll just go over to the next town. And, you know, in the first charity shop I go to, I picked up a £160 shirt. And I've ended up coming away with a few things from that town. And it's been it's made the whole day worth it. But you have to keep working at it. You know, you can't just be dispirited after going to a few places. You have to keep pounding the streets, keep going to them, and you have to give time to it. and you will reap the rewards. But yeah, I don't think overall they're overpriced. But I think we just have to remember that we are not necessarily the target audience for them. And yes, we might spend hundreds of pounds or whatever, but they're not necessarily marketing their stuff to us. They're marketing it to the general public. We find stuff we make money from. Bonus.
Absolutely.
So that is the end of the discussion on whether charity shops are overpriced. We'll now move into our next segment, to thrift or not to thrift. This is where I will take £10 and I will spend it in a charity shop on stuff that I have no clue about.
Okay.
And we will decide whether I've invested the £10 wisely or I have not invested it wisely. And the chat will vote by saying thrift or no thrift as to whether or not they would have picked up these items, and whether they will make money from it. So today, I spent £10 on lady clothings.
I'm out.
I have no clue on lady clothings. I am not a lady myself.
I've got no clue on ladies, so it's why I'll just watch the chat and referee.
Yeah, red cards for Andrew.
I went to one of my favourite sourcing spots with my £10 budget, and I thought, right, and I picked up a couple of things there that I knew had money in: the shoes, the boots, and the couple of men's coats that I knew was going to make money on. So I was happy enough with that, and I thought, right, now £10, let's play to thrift or not to thrift. So I'll put out a few items.
Okay, interesting.
There's going to be a theme to these because basically I'm like clueless with ladies brands or whatever, so I just bought with what was popular in my family.
Yeah,
First item, I'll pay for this, £2. It is apparently a size 18. It is. Hang on, I'll go big screen for this one.
I think you might have to. Yeah.
Right, here we go.
Well,
it's a trench coat.
Oh yeah.
Cost me £2. Ladies trench coat, size 18. From Marks and Spencer's. It's got a belt on it. Belt thing.
There's a charity shop.
But yeah, £2 for that.
What was it, Marks and Spencer's?
Pardon? No, as in the brand. The brand is Marks and Spencer's. I didn't
Brand.
buy it.
What are we in about?
Wait till the
Brand. Ah, see ya. Yeah.
What a pair of idiots.
Threw me off, yeah. No, mate.
save his two.
Yeah, £2 in charity shop.
Is it
to thrift or not to thrift? Let's put it to the vote.
how much you pay for it?
£2.
Yeah, that's a thrift. For £2, there's a trench coat.
Money, isn't it? Yeah, trench coat. Thrift, yeah, I'll say thrift.
You've got to get at least £20 out of that.
What do you reckon, folks? In the chat, would you have thrifted that ladies' trench coat, size 18 with a belt?
Yeah, as long as there's no
Not
holes
a
in
wool
it.
one or anything like that. It's just
It's all right.
more like a sort of a. Trying to find where the care label is to see what the material is, because it feels like
trench coats,
plain. It's in good condition.
Yeah.
So what are we voting for?
I'd expect a gadget and trench coat, yeah.
A coat for £2 is going to be a thrift. It's got to be.
Al's gone thrift. Ashley's gone
I
thrift.
assume, Andrew, you've looked at the prices already.
No, I haven't. No, I've no clue. So what we're going to do?
Okay, fair enough.
What we're going to do after the votes have come in is we're going to do a bit of research on each item to see whether or not
it's worth it. I get your money back, no thrift. Stu's not got a clue. PvP says thrift. So it's about 50-50 so far.
I would say thrift, yeah.
And it says thrift. While the votes are coming in, I'm just going to type it into the eBay search ready.
worth about 20 quid.
Yeah.
So 220 is yeah.
Now, I should say as well, the reason I've gone for this brand is because it's almost got it's easy to research. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's there's going to be loads of these that
Is
will
it
be on the eBay.
Spencer's or is it St Michael or
No, it's not a vintage one. It's modern, but it's fairly modern. The tag I would say is probably mid 2000s. I sort a lot of men's Marks and Spencers, so I know what their tags are roughly like. I'd say it's pretty mid to late 2000s.
Yeah, when they were decent in price.
But it looks like it's hardly ever been worn.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a thrift buy. One of those flasher jackets.
Right, let's have a look. Let's do the screen share.
Trench coats, yeah.
about 7 or 8 quid. I'd say no thrift, but I'm saying thrift simply because it was £2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be at least 15 to 20, but I don't know.
Let's have a look on sales. Used. We've got sold up. Got sold up.
I've got zoom in.
Those are vintage. There's one there, 27 quid, but that's a size 20, which is slightly longer.
It's size 18, yeah, that's right, yeah.
There's one there that's gone on bit. I'm just going to take off. I'm going to go and buy it now because there's no point looking at bids. It's not like a thing that you would put to auction. What we got? 20 odd quid. This one's gone for 11 quid, but it's only a size 10, which is a smaller size. One there for 17, 18 quid. So we're probably looking, you know, I could list this for 25. Probably get
take off.
So
just take offers. I
think that's a thrift. I think we've done all right on that.
Yeah, not bad. It's a good marker though, a good start.
Whenever the most views I ever get of items on a brand is Marks and Spencer's.
Yeah.
If I list Marks and Spencer's stuff and I price it right, it will sell within a couple of days.
That's interesting though, isn't it? Very interesting.
It's exactly the thing that people on eBay are looking for. It's a very popular brand. You're never going to make.
Yeah, it's because they can't be asked to go into Marks and Spencer itself because it's bloody too expensive. So they thrift it from eBay, quality, and then if you got it right, as you say. Yeah.
So the next one, right? Yes. Hang on, we'll go big screen for this again.
Yeah, that's what I do every time. Yeah.
This was £1.50. I thought it was £1, so I misread the label. So I paid 50p more than I thought it was.
Okay.
Don't know what it is. It's a coat thing, blazer thing. Again.
Oh, is that one of those smaller ones? Yeah.
Size 16. I don't even know how you would describe this. I know the other thing's a trench coat, but we have to rely on the ladies in the chat or the men or whoever knows about this to describe what this is. It's a coat thing. £1.50.
Yeah, so many different types of coats that women wear. Like they wear midriff coats as well, showing their belly, or they wear big ones. I get confused.
It is a modern one. The tag is quite. It's
modern.
In the last few years, it's polyester. It's not.
All right.
It's not a. It's made in China as well, so it's one of their more modern jobs. £1.50.
Have a look. Oh, is it just plain? No pattern on it?
Yeah, just a plain.
Oh, just plain, that's fair. Yeah, plain,
right.
Thing.
Your internet, Andrew. I thought you were supposed to be on super high flying quality Virgin thing. You're very pixelated tonight.
I'm at Mother's.
Oh, I see. That's of course you are. No Barty, no bookcase.
Barty's downstairs. Yeah. So what was the brand? These will all be Marks and Spencers. These will Ashley. So
yeah,
we'll say to the chat, £1.50. It's a thrift or not a thrift?
I think that's a thrift. Yeah, it looks quite fashionable because every fashion comes back in about 5 times, in and out over the years.
got big chunky buttons on it.
I would buy anyway, you know, so they just take up a lot of room and they need to go in a box or something. And
Yeah, the coats, yeah.
Coats tend to have more sort of rain stains on them because they get exposed to the elements more, and less pit stains because they're covering up the jumpers and whatnot. But it's not sort of thing I like to buy. I've tried. I bought a couple of raincoats and things like that, but they're not my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, same here. I don't really buy that many coats.
So Al is in two minds. Mr. Diggs has gone thrift. What else? We also need somebody to tell me what that is, so I can look on
Andrew, they get folks.
But yeah,
if you're going on purely monetary value, as in you pay £1.50 for it and it's like 15, 20 quid, then yeah, because it's profit. But again, if it was like a £5 or a 5, 6, 7, 8 quid, which is what you would normally find in most charity shops, then for that sort of thing, then it wouldn't be a thrift.
Nick's not thrifting. Have we got any other votes?
Oh, I've just found something.
Ashley doesn't like listing clothing.
Right. Yeah, £20 roughly. Yeah, nearabouts.
I still need some keywords.
Colour and looks alright.
So far, I've got Marks and Spencer's blazer thing.
And to be fair, I can't really tell because you're internet, but from what it can roughly see, it looks okay. It's got a nice little collar thing. People like collars.
I don't like the colour.
Or what I call a pervert coat.
Color, apparently.
But hi. But no, it seems alright for a semi-posh occasion. Mm-hmm. More and more people going about these days. Yeah. Happy to show what they bought off the internet down the pub. Fair enough.
I'm having a look to see if I can find anything on eBay to settle this because.
We'll be back in a sec. Put these away. Need some space. Wipe it up.
I'm struggling to find anything without relevant keywords, but somebody sold the same jacket as I've got listed for 20 quid as well. I haven't got mine sold, but I'm struggling to find anything under the blazer category. All right, there's one similar to it in pink.
That's close enough.
Right. That's the wrong screen. There we go. That's the one. So there's this pink one that's gone for about 15 quid. Well, 17 quid. What else have we got? I'll tell you what I haven't done. I haven't gone unused. Condition. Used. There we go. What have we got? We're probably looking about 15 to 17 quid on it. Cord one seems to go for more, but the smaller sizes don't seem to do as well. But yeah, we'd probably say that is just about a thrift for £1.50. It's not. I wouldn't call it a peacoat. Well, it's too short really for me, unless ladies wear peacoat coats shorter. But right, so I got those two, but I didn't stop there. There's another bag. It might be a peacoat. I don't know. Don't know.
But
Yeah. Is it a swing coat? Does it flare out at the bottom?
what swingers coat?
No,
Yeah,
it
coat.
doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might
Swingers,
do slightly, but I wouldn't say that it does massively swing out at the bottom. To be honest,
No.
the employee will deal with that one anyway. Ladies buy online, wear once, and return it claiming clothes damage. I've never had that happen to me, Shuggy. To be honest, not saying that it won't happen, but I don't think it happens as much as people think it does. Right.
All right.
Next you'll be surprised to hear that. Oh, hang on, that's the screen share. You'll be surprised to hear that once again, I have picked up a lady's coat. This is another ladies' trench coat. It's kind of a chocolate brown colour. Cost £2. Just look, I should tell what colour it is on it. Damson apparently is the colour.
Yeah, it looks right from the inside.
This is UK 12 pure new wool, and it's a European one. It's made in Romania, and it's St Michael's, so it's a vintage one.
Okay.
So this is a vintage ladies' coat by St Michael's.
Purple.
Yeah, it might be purple. £2. To Thrift.
Yeah, not bad.
Not to Thrift.
That's a thing. You also have to bear in mind with prices at the moment. Where it's summer at the moment, so people aren't buying that sort of coat at the moment. So if this was September, you might be getting a few quid more.
Yeah, me too.
See, I know these things.
So what are we thinking, folks? To Thrift or not to Thrift? Vintage St Michael's wool long coat, size 12.
Is that flake?
Yeah.
What?
Like, yeah.
Flake.
Actually, no, it's 12.
It's 12. Say the same thing.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
So, to Thrift or not to Thrift?
How much was it? £2.50.
£2.
£2. Yeah, that's a Thrift.
Pete,
Next, I need to find some things that are around about £5-6 to make this more ambiguous.
I'm not going to pick up something for £5 or £6 if I don't know anything about it. I'm going to pay £2 for it and then I can shop along.
Yeah, I'm ambitious, Andrew.
Reseller, you should know what it's worth when you buy it.
Yeah.
Shuggy Mac has gone for
Learn new things. Learn new things.
What they reckon, people in the chat.
So with that other coat you've just shown, Andrew, how many pockets has it got? Like inside and outside?
Oh, don't talk about pockets at the moment.
All right.
He's had issues with pockets. Yeah.
I got a negative on somebody that offered a full refund to who refused the refund and rather would leave a negative instead.
Yeah, you were heard about negatives earlier, yeah.
It's like, right, cheers for that.
Now I was wondering, could people like put stuff inside pockets? I suppose that's not a male thing.
I bought a coat and I found from Bernardo's last summer, and it had a condom in the pocket, on the inside pocket. It was expired in 2004.
Ooh.
Well, that's
someone's ambitious.
Tell you what, then, that's a good indicator that the coat was vintage.
Yeah, I've still got the coat. I can't say it because it was a leather coat, and it's like half of it is. Yeah, it's still buried under there. Half the leather was sort of like smooth, and half of it has sort of like gone really sort of dry and crinkled. So it looked like it been made from like a calf and one that had been about 20 years old and ready for glue.
So the
I'll get that.
So yeah, looks like people are voting for that to be a thrift. Let's have a look on the screen share.
Yeah, that's what I say. Yeah, thrift. Yeah.
I've put in vintage wool coat, St Michael's. I've gone lowest price here now. The lowest price on that's a wool blend. This is pure wool. I can't find anything quite like it, but we're looking probably at least 20 quid.
Yeah, no, I say about that. Yeah.
That's a pea coat there. That's a pea coat.
On that side, the leather is all nice and smooth. And you go onto the other side of it, and it's all.
That's easy enough to fix.
All rough and I know nothing about it. I mean, it's like
all you need to do with that bit of leather conditioner, good rub, you'll get that back into shape in no time.
Really?
Yeah. It literally it's just dried up. It needs conditioner on it.
Trek weight?
I wouldn't even bother with brands on leather coats. Just vintage leather coat, 90s, job done.
Yeah, well, I might do something.
Unless it's a brand you've heard of, like Burberry or whatever. But there's so many different leather coats that you can get. There's not like, if you've not heard of the brand, probably not worth looking up.
Well, when I'm in the new unit and I'm set up more to do clothes, I'll have a look at that.
So yeah, we still haven't spent the 10 quid yet. So that was £2, £1.50. So that was
only a Durex.
So six. We spent more about 6-7 quid so far. Turns out I got a bit carried away with the budget as well, because I forgot that I picked up a couple at the till that were just hanging there at the till, so I may have blown the budget.
Yeah, and that's your life story, Andrew, getting the budget.
The next one, now I would say that this is a pea coat. Hang on, let's go big screen.
Yeah, we need to see.
This is a £1.50, size 16. You'll be surprised to hear this is Marks and Spencer's. It's a pea coat. It's got some nice buttons on it. And yeah, £1.50. I think this one's wool as well.
Right. No, it looks all right. It looks quite smart.
Yeah, wool coat, size 16.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? It's a thrift or not a thrift?
No,
yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, it's a thrift. These are all thrifts.
Yeah, they're all pretty decent. That seems like a smarter coat. Was that a short length coat, or was it a long one?
Yeah, no,
some of the long ones go down to knees.
It's a shorter style.
Short, right.
But yeah. So yeah.
Nice, and learning with Andrew. Even I'm learning. Wow. Yeah, I'm not that hot on women's clothes either. But, yeah. I just get it. Not confused about the brand. I just get it confused about what it kind of is, because I always get different sizes and shapes and bits. It's like, what are you gonna use that for? Like some like the size of some little tiny. But yeah, I suppose there's a purpose for it.
So I'm looking at the ladies' pea coats. Let's have a look.
Yeah, coats always do well. So you're going to need a coat somewhere in the world.
Exactly.
When time of year?
So I'm sorting by lowest price at the minute. Yeah. Tenner.
Okay, would be just slightly higher.
It's lowest price. It don't mean that they've priced it well. More like up to about 15, 17 quid here.
Not too bad.
20 odd pounds.
And if that ships GSP, if it goes to Australia, they're in winter, so Done.
Okay. So yeah, I probably would list that for about £20 and see what happens.
Yeah, don't see why not. Always take a little offer.
2 more to go.
Fine.
2 more.
Yeah.
Right.
Righto.
Oh, hang on, I pressed the wrong button. Right.
Is it a lady's coat?
Of course it is. That's a cafe exhausted. Oatmeal.
Okay.
An oatmeal shorter coat. It
Shorter,
cost
okay.
£2.
Thrift.
Size 16. Trying to work out what whether this one's a wool one or not.
Chat.
I think we can predict that this is going to be 15 to 20 without looking it up. It's made in Romania, oatmeal, so it probably is one of their older ones. Early 2000s, I would say. But yeah, good condition. Yeah, wool coat. So yeah, that's probably going to be 15 to 20. Probably not even worth looking that one up.
Yeah.
And the final one I picked up. Got to guess how much this one cost?
£2.
Correct.
£2, yeah.
Look at this. Right, hang on. Look at the style of this one.
Jesus, you've got some style.
Oh, that's a thrift.
That's a leopard print one.
You've got Cat Slater at the Denders. That's a Cat Slater type
size 12, right? I'll just show you. This is one. This is a clearance one. It's come from another store where it was priced at 15 quid.
Yeah, it's definitely a bloody thrift.
That cost
£2 all day long.
Per Una.
Is that
brand?
Oh yeah, per Una.
Brand on that one, which I believe was at one point part of Marks and Spencer's, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
So what are we saying, people in the chat? To thrift or not
thrift.
to thrift?
Is that a 3/4 length arm?
I don't know. No, it's just folded in. It's a normal length arm.
Is it? The arms look a bit short.
Just it was folded up.
Okay.
It's but yeah. I mean that's an amazing coat, isn't it?
That's
not too bad.
That's got to be something a bit special. Mr. Diggs says thrift.
You got to look that one up though.
Yeah.
No, Shaggy says Lex will have it.
Oh God, yeah. Something straight away.
Liberace would have liked that coat. I'm going to have a look on eBay to see if we've got any per Una leopard prints.
From what I can see, a decent coat.
30-40 quid on that one.
Yeah. Because of a leopard print, it looks pretty.
I think I found the same coat. Actually on it. So what do we reckon, folks?
30-40 quid.
30-40 quid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
I think this is pretty much the same coat. And the same size.
Look up them on phone, yeah.
40 quid.
Yeah, going well, mate. Doing well.
Well, not too bad with my prices, even though I don't sell this yet or have any interesting clothes.
So yeah, from 2 quid into 40. I think I have won to thrift or not to thrift.
Sell similar on that listing before you close it. You won't have to go looking for it again.
Yeah, when did that sell? That sold in March. 11th of March. So it's probably just out of season for this, but That'll do me.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So there we go, folks. Today I have learned that if you buy Marks and Spencer's coats for £2 or less, you can make money. If we add up the listed value on that, I've spent what? So that's 40,
It's about
20, so 20, that's 80, 20, 100. Let's say 50. Let's just say 20, 40. So 140 quid's worth of stuff, and I've spent less than 15 quid. And that is at prices during what is allegedly our warm time of year. So I'm going to put those to one side for winter. Could be looking closer to 200 quid. So yeah, next time on To Thrift or Not to Thrift, I'm going to try ladies' tops.
Ooh.
Because we've learned that coats, they're okay now.
Yeah.
I think tops is going to be harder. I think if you buy a coat for £2 from a reputable brand, you're probably going to do all right on it. But coats, ladies' tops, no clue. There's going to be styles and all sorts going on there. So yeah. All right. That was the that's it. That's everything for the show.
Cool.
Do we have any conversational subjects we want to strike up before we come to a close? Leather shorts. I can never find any leather shorts. I can't find any. Lucky if I find a leather jacket in Wrexham, let alone shorts. All right. Well, we will end episode 1 of the Thrift Show there. I will schedule another show, not for next week, but for the week after. It'll be a different time slot. I just couldn't do Drink with Andrew tonight because I'm too drugged up and injured.
Yeah,
thank you everyone for watching. We'll be back, hopefully back with Drinking with Andrew next week. Otherwise, it'll be the Thrift Show again. But we'll see how it goes. Thank you to our guests tonight, Peter and Damien, for their showing off their hauls and their excellent insight.
Yeah. And
hopefully we have concluded conclusively that it's still worth looking at charity shops to source stock from. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Good night.